All right, people, we are here live. Going to be live here tonight with my friend Ruckfools shortly. I just have to send him a quick DM, and we can get this podcast underway. All right, let me talk to you.
Oh, let me talk to you.
This
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
Yes, indeed, we are live. Guys, this podcast, David Kelsom here decided to name it.
Yeah, this is now known as the Let Me Talk to You podcast.
Yep, this is the Let Me Talk to You podcast on YouTube. This is going
Yes,
to
sir.
be epic.
It's election year.
All
right, let's get this thing underway, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got to talk about the UFC coming up, right?
Yeah, what do you want to talk about?
Well,
all right.
UFC coming up is going to be a big one. It's going to be big. It's
UFC 308 coming this Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning in Hawaii. So I don't know. That would be 11. That'd be around 11 a.m. Eastern time. I mean Pacific time.
Yep. It's going to be on kind of early in the morning for some of the viewers at home, but I think it's worth the watch.
Yeah, certainly it's the I guess it's the annual Abu Dhabi card. The UFC, I guess they do it every October. Because remember last year they had the exact pay-per-view in October was in Abu Dhabi with Islam and Volk.
Yeah. So now they're redoing this Abu Dhabi pay-per-view again, and it's a lot better of a card, I think, than the last one. And they've actually kind of smooth lined it because there's actually, it's not like last time when there was if you don't remember last time, there was, all the people that, they called out.
Yeah, last year's card, it was cursed.
Yeah.
It was cursed. We were supposed to get Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev, but Oliveira had to pull out. So then we got an out of shape 8-day notice Volkanovski, who previously should have beaten Islam Makhachev, but sadly he took the fight and we got a first round knockout. And then we had Hamzat Chimaev last year. I think he was supposed to fight Paulo Costa. Yeah, that's right. It was supposed to be Paulo Costa, and then Paulo Costa pulled out, and then we got like a 10-day notice Kamaru Usman coming in, and yeah, they put up a snooze fest.
Yeah,
that card.
It wasn't that.
We also had Magomed Ankalaev, who's also on this card. He fought Johnny Walker in what was a bizarre no contest because of a knee. You remember that, right?
A knee to the groin.
The fucking knee. Yeah. There was a knee to the head, I think.
Yeah.
And they're like, the ref just stopped the fight.
Yeah.
The ref decided to stop the fight because he thought Johnny Walker was knocked out, and then he clearly wasn't.
Yeah. It was a weird fight.
So hopefully this year's Abu Dhabi cards,
well,
a lot better than last year's.
At the beginning of the fight, Johnny Walker Like he like pretended that he got hurt and then he tried to knee him, but he completely missed. Like the thing that's funny about
Yeah,
Walker is he like loses in the most cartoonish ways possible. Have you seen how he loses, dude? It's crazy.
yeah, he's been not. I've seen his last three. I've seen the next two fights he had after that. Yeah, he's been knocked out brutally like twice in a row. The guy's got a glass jaw.
No, and worse yet, though, the dude is like he gets knocked out like cartoonishly almost. Like he like just fucking gets punched in the face and he like flies backwards.
Oh yeah, like his facial expressions and
Yeah,
shit.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
and like
hilarious.
the his last fight with Volkan Oezdemir, it was a couple months ago. That was like he got knocked out from a jab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna get
So yeah, I guess
main event of this card. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be Max Holloway versus what's his face? Ilan
Ilya Topuria.
Topuria. I'm saying like, am I saying it right?
Ilya Topuria.
Ilya Topuria. I thought it's Topuria, like Poirier. Dustin
It's
Poirier.
Topuria.
Topuria. He has a weird name.
Yeah, he's like half Georgian, half Spanish.
Yeah, I think Max Holloway is probably gonna beat him up.
Probably. I'm rooting for Max Holloway.
I
I'm
just
not
know that
really a fan of Ilya Topuria.
he's been hot now, though. You know, recently he's been like on a winning streak or whatever.
Yeah, they're both kind of on a winning. Well, Ilya Topuria is an undefeated prospect. He back in February he knocked out Alexander Volkanovski for the title, and I don't know before that he didn't really fight anyone like big yet. His biggest fight was like Josh Emmett, who was like kind of a mid carder before he got his like title shot.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know. I think Max Holloway is kind of like kind of like a test for him, like to see if he can really like if he can really hang with like the best of the division. Like yeah, I'm rooting for Holloway. I'm not really a big fan of Topuria just yet. Just I don't know. I mean, he's a heel. He trash talks,
Yeah.
but I haven't really seen enough of him against like a legit opponent. As
Well, I
like
think
so
Max
far.
Holloway is probably gonna be his first legit opponent. Don't you think so?
Yeah, besides Volkanovski.
Yeah. Like
And I would say
is a
Volkanovski when he did fight Volkanovski, like Volkanovski, he's like always fighting. He's like Alex Pereira. He's like always like taking like fights. Like he's like been active, and he took that fight like what like 3 months after getting brutally knocked out by Islam Makhachev.
yeah, he got kicked in the freaking skull, bro.
Yeah,
His like head
like
caved in.
I don't know.
Crazy.
I feel like if we do get a rematch like between Topuria and Volk,
I mean, you gotta see
I don't know. I don't think.
of this thing. You okay if I pull up the
I think.
highlight of that kick?
Well, what?
You okay
Yeah, pull it up.
the highlight of that kick real quick? Since this is a podcast with shoes of a champion, Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. Yeah, this is the second fight.
Yeah, the second fight.
Yeah, let me go ahead and screen share over here. We'll see it on the stream. They might have a difficult time. Let me try this. They'll see it a little bit easier. But yeah, I'll show it to you first. You see the video?
Oh yeah, I see it.
Wow. He kicked him upside his head. His bald ass head. He kicked him upside it. That's brutal.
Right off the temple. I would say like Islam Makhachev. You know, he's not an exciting fighter, but that for sure was like probably the highlight, one of the biggest highlights of his career.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that was just a brutal strike, man. Like did you see his head bleeding after? Like his head was, oh man, that was rough.
Yeah, clipped him right at the top of his head.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That's a brutal injury. Yeah, and then after that, we've got Robert Whitaker taking on Khamzat Chimaev, who now supports Trump. Fuck Joe Biden. Let's go Brandon. And fuck Kamala Harris.
Yeah, fuck Kamala Harris. Scumula, as we call her. Scumula. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really used to be a fan of Khamzat Chimaev because, you know, he has your typical Dagestani style. Though he can strike, he has like a 15-second knockout.
Yeah.
But I also like Robert Whitaker. He's a pretty good striker as well.
You heard Robert Whitaker. He got that knockout recently.
Yeah, against the Dagestani guy, another Dagestani prospect, Ikram, I think his name was. And this fight we're having, you know, Whitaker versus Chimaev, it was supposed to happen on that card, but Chimaev had to pull out, so that's why we had that other Dagestani guy come in, and Whitaker knocked him out in the first round.
Yeah. I'm trying to bring up the card.
This fight, if you want to show the clip.
Well, I'm just trying to bring up the card first. There we go. I've got it up. Yeah, so yeah, which one do you got winning on this fight? Because for fight one, since we're going to go through it, for fight one, I've got Max Holloway. I got to root for the Hawaiian, man. I got to root for the Hawaiian.
Huh.
And he's like,
yeah, I got Holloway.
He's close, man. He's tough.
I'm not really a fan of Topuria yet. I haven't seen enough of him. But yeah, I got Holloway.
And then the next fight, we've got Robert Whitaker taking on Khamzat Chimaev from United Arab Emirates. Oh, man. I'm rooting for Robert Whitaker, but I have a feeling in my gut that Khamzat's going to come out on top of this one. So I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, same. I mean, like, Khamzat, you know, he has that Dagestani style. Like, you know, I have a feeling he's probably gonna do what he did to Kamaru Usman.
But here's the thing.
Just holding and drop.
Here's the thing. Robert Whitaker, though, he's number 3 in the world.
Yeah, I don't think
Khamzat's only 12.
Number 3 in the division. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the division. Yeah, he's number 3 and Khamzat's number 12. He's ranked a lot higher.
Yeah.
So like
next one,
I don't know, the betting odds probably already have him as the betting favorite.
They have Robert Whitaker as the favorite, and they have Khamzat as the underdog.
As underdog, oh yeah, that's what I expected. And apparently, this fight is also like whoever wins this fight, they're saying is going to be the next in line for a title shot after Sean Strickland.
Yeah. Next, we have Lerone Murphy taking on Dan Ige.
Oh, another Hawaii boy.
Yeah, I mean, I like Dan Ige. I think he's a good guy. I know he trains at with Penn as well.
He trains with Strickland as well. He's the last time he fought was the last time he fought a couple months ago. He took a fight. He took a fight on a 2-hour notice.
Yeah.
He fought Diego Lopez.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, he won that fight against Diego Lopez. He was robbed.
He was robbed, man. So
and just the judges and their, you know, UFC judges, they love their control time.
He's got to win this one. Yeah, I think he's got that. I think he's got that dog in him, as they say. He's gonna win.
Yeah, I think he's gonna win. Lerone Murphy, I don't think he's another up and coming prospect.
Yeah, but he just doesn't have the hype behind him. Like what? He just Joe.
He doesn't.
Board.
You don't really hear about him. You don't really hear about him. He hasn't really. No, he hasn't really had like. He hasn't really had like a tough opponent yet. Which is.
He's been fighting.
Oh, no, yeah.
On the
I don't. Yeah, he's been fighting bums.
Next,
So I got Ige.
Next, we've got Magomedov Ankalaev taking on Alexander Rakic from Serbia. So this is a Muslim battle.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
I don't know. I have a feeling.
So Magomed Ankalaev.
I have a feeling that because both of them are grapplers, they're probably just going to stand the whole time, and it's going to be a boring fight with a lot of hugging, maybe.
Probably just going to be your typical Dagestani snooze fest.
Maybe hugging, and then they'll be separating, and they'll be like throwing punches and trying to feint each other out for a really long period of time. And then they'll be hugging again, and they'll be like throwing little punches in the clinch. And then maybe they'll attempt to take each other down. And if they take each other down, then they'll just stay down there and do nothing with the position. And then the round will end.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think Ankalaev's gonna win just because he has a lot more hype behind him. But I don't know. I guess I'm kind of rooting for Alexander Rakic just because he's the underdog, and Ankalaev, I think he's a bit overhyped because people are saying that people are saying that. What's up?
Rakic's actually the betting favorite. Like he's
overwhelming. He's a favorite
in the odds. Yeah, he's 320.
Serious?
Yeah.
And that's surprising considering Ankalaev. He has a lot of hype behind him.
Yeah.
The UFC media is trying to make it as if he's like the guy that can beat Alex Pereira just because he has the Dagestani style, and there's this narrative that Alex Pereira can't grapple. People are saying that Ankalaev could be the guy to beat Pereira.
And a black belt in BJJ.
Yeah, Alex Pereira, he's a black belt in BJJ, but because
let alone he can get in.
I don't know. He's never had to go to the ground so far.
Let alone if he can get in close enough to take that left hook on the chin. He can't get past that. And the teep kicks, oh, forget about it, man. He's not getting in there. He's not securing the position. He's gonna get knocked out trying.
Alex Pereira, he's got good takedown defense too.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's this narrative.
Okay, this guy is a freaking bodybuilder.
Like the what do you call that? The analysts, I think they're a bunch of dummies. Yeah.
Well, who do you think?
No, the guy's a black belt. The guy's a black belt in BJJ. So, anyways, yeah. My pick for the fight, I guess. I think Ankalaev's gonna win.
I go with Ankalaev
just because he has a lot of hype around him and he's on a winning streak. While Rakic, I've seen him fight once. He fought Yuri Prochazka in UFC 300 and he got knocked out.
Yeah. What do you think about this next fight? We've got Shara Magomedov taking on Armen Petrosyan.
Oh, another Dagestani showdown.
It's Russia versus Armenia. So Shara
Dagestani Russia
is Dagestani, and this
Dagestan's
out of Armenia.
Where's this guy from?
Armenia. Yeah.
I'm assuming Armenia. That's probably in the Middle East. That's probably near Dagestan.
It's in the Middle East.
So I'm assuming he probably fights like the other Dagestani guys. I don't
know. He might be a striker. I
haven't
seen anything from him.
He might be. I haven't really seen any. I've seen a bit of Magomedov. He's another Dagestani prospect. He has a bit of hype around him. He's undefeated, I think.
Yeah, I think Shara will probably win.
Probably, and the other guy, Armen. I guess he's 9-3.
This guy getting over.
Not really the.
This is the Armen Petrosyan. He's like a jobber. He's like, he's like a guy.
Yeah, his records
like 2 years.
Yeah, he's a bum. Like I haven't.
Yeah,
his It's not-
He'll be in the PFL.
yeah, he's a PFL guy. I guess he's like. I guess the reason why they have him on this card is, the squash match on the card is because it's an Abu Dhabi card, and they're feeding him to Magomedov.
What do you think about this one? Geoff Neal versus Rafael Dos Santos. Why is this on the prelims?
Yeah, that's pretty baffling.
This is like the
Dos Anjos,
prelims.
he's a former champion.
This is the prelims main event. Some prelims have their own main event, like when Jake Hager fights on the prelims. This is Rafael Dos Santos. He's on the prelims. I think he's gonna win.
Yeah, I think he's gonna win. Geoff Neal, I don't know. He's kind of a boring fighter. I've seen him fight once. He fought against Ian Gary.
What is his style?
It was like another. It was like a snooze fest. They were like grappling and shit, just hugging. It was a very shitty fight.
What do you?
I don't know. I think Dos Santos is gonna win.
He's gonna kick his ass.
Probably, it'll probably be. I don't know, submission. He's got Dos Anjos by submission.
Yeah, Dos Santos will probably just destroy him. What do you think of Mateusz Rebicki taking on Martibek Orolbai?
All right, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really. I've never seen these two fight.
From Kyrgyzstan versus Mateusz Rebicki from Poland.
Oh, he's Polish.
Yeah. Mateusz is a 10.
Rebecki?
Yeah, Rebecki.
Who's the favorite?
Is Mateusz.
Polish guy.
I'll just go with him, I guess. I've never even heard.
I guess I'm going with the Polish.
At least I've heard of Poland.
I haven't either. I haven't heard of either of these guys.
Watch, this guy's going to embarrass us in like 2 days. He's going to destroy this guy. Watch.
Probably. He's probably an up and coming prospect we never heard of. I've never heard of him though. Okay. I guess I'm rooting for the Polish guy. Hopefully he's exciting, because I know another hopefully he's better than the Dagestani guys, because the other guy. The
guy might be a striker. He kind of looks like he's got that striker build.
Yeah, hopefully, he puts up a good fight.
Yeah, maybe just
it's not a Daggett. Maybe, because I know.
That'd be cool.
What's the Polish guy? The other guy that fought Pereira. Jan Blachowicz, he's Polish, and I know he's a striker. He's a Muay Thai fighter. So hopefully this guy is another Muay Thai fighter. I don't know. I hope I hope this fight isn't a snooze fest.
Next fight, Saeed Nurmagomedov. This is the cousin of Khabib Nurmagomedov. He's like the Temu version of Khabib, taking on Daniel Santos.
This guy's like one of Khabib's 10 cousins. And Daniel Santos, I don't know. I feel like Daniel Santos is
he's from Brazil.
I don't know. His name is he's Brazilian. I don't know. His name just.
Yeah, 6.
His name's kind of generic.
6 wins, 2 by submission. So he clearly does Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
He's a jiu-jitsu guy.
Knee in it.
So jiu-jitsu.
Ooh, maybe this guy might win.
So jiu-jitsu guy versus the wrestler. Maybe.
On this one, I'll gamble on Daniel Santos to beat Saeed. What if he catches him with this vicious knee he's displaying here?
Yeah, he could. Because we already know for a fact.
And he puts him in a triangle.
We know Saeed's going to take him to the ground. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe Daniel Santos.
Maybe he'll tap out with a triangle.
Catch him.
Something. He'll sneak him. He caught him. He caught him, King. He caught him. That's what they'll say, right?
He caught him.
He's on his last fight.
Maggle.
He's coming up. 2 wins by submission. And Daniel Santos, I mean, I could see this guy, Brazil, popular place. I could see him having a future in UFC. Oh, he beat Khabib's cousin. That's a big win for him, He's also the favorite.
So Khabib's other Oh, he's the favorite.
Yeah.
Daniel Santos is the favorite.
Against Saeed
Oh yeah, I got.
cousin.
I'm hopefully, yeah, I'm picking him then. Hopefully, he catches him with a submission. I don't know because we know Saeed's gonna take him to the ground.
Yeah.
That's just the Dagestani style.
What about
And wrestler versus jiu-jitsu fighter.
Abus Magomedov?
Another Magomedov.
Abus Magomedov taking on Bruno Ferreira.
Yeah, Brazilian, right?
Yeah, Bruno Ferreira. I'll go with Abus. I don't know. His name sounds like Caboose, so I'll go with him.
Caboose.
I'll gamble on him. Fuck it.
Who's the favorite? Who's the betting favorite?
Fucking Ferreira.
Ferreira?
Ferreira, and I go for Abus.
I guess I don't know. I guess I got Ferreira. I guess
He's gonna be a good.
He's Brazilian. I think he's Brazilian.
Kennedy Nutsechkuwu from Nigeria versus Justin Fata from New Zealand.
Heavyweights, fat heavyweights.
I'm going for Justin Fata.
Well, I'm going for Tafa.
I hope he's the next one.
I don't know, Tafa. maybe. I've heard of Tafa. I've heard a bit of him. I've never really seen him fight yet. And Kennedy, I've never heard of this guy, Kennedy. I guess I got Tafa.
Never.
Maybe he's the next Mark Hunt.
Hopefully.
Or Tai Tuivasa.
What do you think of this fight? It's Farid Barsharat taking on Victor Hugo.
What's Farid? Is he
guys on the prelims? So this guy, Victor Hugo, he's got a winning record. I don't know.
He's 25-4. That's a decent record for a prelim fighter.
Is from Afghanistan.
He probably
and Victor Hugo is from Brazil. They're both the same weight.
Oh, he's Brazilian.
They're the same in reach. Well, actually, there's a slight reach advantage for Victor Hugo. The height advantage though goes to Farid Barsharat. I don't know how the fuck spell his name, man. KOs, man. Look at the stats. I mean, it's Victor Hugo has like 28% KO, 40% subs, 32% of his fights by decision. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who's the guy. I go with Hugo, Victor Hugo. He just seems like a tougher guy. He kind of looks like
he looks like.
He looks like what's his face? Fucking
the black guy with a beard.
He looks like.
Or is he black? He kind of looks black.
Yeah, he looks like fucking Ricochet from WWE.
Oh, Ricochet.
He kind of looks like Ricochet.
Okay. Well, then Ricochet looks like a what do you call it? A Walmart Andrew Tate.
Exactly. Yeah, he built like a Walmart Andrew Tate. No, he's a Temu Andrew.
Especially with the tattoo and shit. Ricochet, he kind of looks like a knockoff Andrew Tate.
I call him Temu Andrew Tate.
Temu Andrew Tate.
Temu.
It's ironic because he's also like politically he's like the opposite of Andrew Tate with political views because he's a leftist.
Yeah. Then there's Ismail Nurdiev taking on Bruno Silva. I mean.
Bruno Silva?
Yeah, Bruno Silva. Is he related to Anderson Silva?
Silva's a pretty common name in Brazil.
Yeah, like there's Giant Silva.
Like Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
Thiago, there's a bunch of Silvas. What is he, Brazilian? Silva?
Brazilian.
Oh, yeah, of course he's Brazilian. What's his name again?
Julian Silva.
Oh, Bruno Silva.
Anderson Silva. No, Anderson Silva is not related to Bruno Silva. However, Anderson Silva is considered one of the best strikers in the history of MMA and is known for his expertise in Muay Thai. Oh, no, it's just telling.
Oh shit, that's why.
It's just telling what?
That's why he sounds familiar.
What?
I've seen Bruno Silva fight before. He fought Chris Weidman earlier. I remember that fight in March. Bruno Silva, he won that. I mean, he lost to Chris Weidman by TKO, but I remember he was bitching and complaining about eye pokes.
Yeah.
He would Chris Weidman poked him in the eye unintentionally, and he dropped on the floor, and Weidman jumped on him and just finished TKO'd him.
Yeah.
I think.
And then he's fighting Ismail Nurdiev from Morocco.
Oh, I guess I got. Who's the betting favorite? Oh, he's Bruno Silva's 35. Shit, the other guy's 28. Oh shit, but they got a huge height. They got a huge height difference. Bruno Silva's 6 feet and Ismail
is only 5'8".
Right.
They got their reach is they both got the same reach.
Yeah,
so I don't know. I guess
on this fight for some reason.
I guess I'll go with the younger guy.
Yeah, there's no odds on this one. And then, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of fucking fights on this card.
Yeah, all that is I think the prelims start at 4 in the morning.
Oh my
4 in the morning Hawaii time.
There's a guy.
I'm not even gonna be watching all these fights.
There's a guy on the card that doesn't even have his face on. I guess he's making his debut. Rafael Sequeira taking on Ibo Aslan from Turkey. We don't even know where this Rafael Sequeira guy comes from. There's not even a flag for him.
What's his name again?
He's never fought in MMA ever. He's the first time.
The guy's just making his debut.
He's gonna get beat up, I think. That's what I think is gonna happen to him. I think he doesn't know what he's doing.
Who's
he
fighting?
He's taking on a fighter who's 13-1. Yeah, he's basically food for this.
Oh yeah, he's getting squash. It's just a squash match, I guess.
Yeah.
What's the other guy? Is he the Middle Eastern guy?
The last Ottoman Ibu Aslan.
How do you even spell that?
IBOAL or ASLAN. Oh.
Oh, I see it.
Oh, that was brutal.
He's actually 11-0. But oddly, he doesn't have a picture.
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't even have a picture? That's crazy.
This Rafael guy, he's 11-0. He doesn't have a picture, and the IBO guy is 13-1. I guess they're both they're both prospects. Well, yeah, they're on the prelims.
They're on the prelim. They're all both prospects. It's gonna be
not really height prospects, obviously. But I don't know. I guess
card.
It could go either way.
Yeah, it's an interesting card.
Yeah. Basically, just fucking the Middle East versus the world.
Yeah. What do you think of the WWE right now?
Well, right now,
yeah,
I honestly really could give two shits. The Rock and shit coming back, I don't really care anymore. The Rock's 50, and the guy's overshadowing fucking the Bloodline and Cody Rhodes. That's just I just say that just shows how how much they suck, how much wrestlers today suck.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I mean, they're dragging this whole bloodline shit, but it's never been good to begin with. And, you know, they really had to bring The Rock back to like try to make it relevant and shit. But if WWP, if they were smart, they give us The Rock versus LA Knight and make it for the world title at fucking WrestleMania. But they won't do that because they're fucking stubborn. I don't know. I guess Noseman, he has this fucking fetish with fucking Roman. Like no one gives a fuck about Roman. The guy's been pushed to the moon for the past like fucking 10 years and no one liked it.
Yep. He's boring.
I'm like,
It's just a big guy. It's just boring.
it's like, and he's not even like. Don't get me wrong. Like he is an above average looking guy. But you know, if I wanted to push a guy due to his size alone, I just pushed a Great Khali.
Yeah. Like Greg.
Like Roman, yeah, like his size. Or you know, I just pushed Drew McIntyre. You know, there's bigger like Roman, like his, like people like to say, oh, but he has size. Yeah, but there's bigger guys than him. Like Drew McIntyre's a lot bigger than him.
McIntyre's job.
Brock Lesnar,
CM Punk now. He jobbed to CM Punk.
yeah, Drew McIntyre's fucking jobbing to CM Junk. Like
He just jobbed to him.
fucking
And
like
Cody
CM
Rhodes
Punk, the fucking
is just
this guy's a joke.
for the belt.
And fucking Cody Rhodes, who's like never been great to begin with. The guy's like the guy like the best thing the guy ever done was like probably act like his brother. Or like be one of Orton's lackeys in that stable, Legacy.
Yeah.
He was just a background character that was just there.
Like
I don't know, these wrestlers today, they're not it. Like they're not it. Other than LA Knight, like they're not it. Oh yeah, and I also hear that the Motor City Machine Guns are now in WWP after like they've been wrestling for like ever. Like they were in TNA like when I used to watch TNA.
yeah.
And, like I don't know, honestly don't really care. They're kind of
LA Knight's
I don't know, they're kind of your typical
U.S. champ.
cruiserweight tag team.
LA Knight's pretty good. He's still
Oh yeah, LA Knight's it. LA Knight's the best fucking title holder we've had in like forever. The other title holders, they all suck.
yeah.
Like I don't even know who has like the Intercontinental title or the tag titles. And I think Gunther is still the fucking, I just call it the paper championship.
Oh. The paper.
I think it's Gunther.
Yeah.
It's like it's horrible. Like LA Knight should be world champion, and like these other two, like Cody Rhodes and Gunther.
It does look.
You cannot tell me that you can. What?
I said the U.S. champion does look good on LA Knight though.
Oh yeah, it certainly does. But he's a lot better than the two world champions.
I think the WWE has right now.
In terms of looks, yeah, the U.S. title is like the only decent looking title. I guess the fucking paper title,
Sort of, but
is
they ruin it with that
somewhat decent.
W in the middle.
But they have to put that giant fucking toothpick W in the middle.
Should've just
Because I don't know, like they just have to
they just
have to slap their fucking WWE logo in the middle.
every belt has to have this WWE logo on it now.
Yeah, ever since the spinner belt, like they have to, they have to remind you, oh, this is WWE's belt, so they got to slap the logo in the middle.
Like, look at this WCW.
Like you can tell that.
It looks so much cooler.
Yeah, the big gold belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the the WWF title for the '90s. Like that's how I don't know how we went from those titles to the ones we got now.
I don't know, man. It's just crazy.
Like the IC title, like look at
They just
the IC title
anymore.
looks like a toy.
To do something unique with the belts, and then they ended up all doing what WWE did by putting their giant logo in the middle of everything.
Huh. Like AEW, like
their first.
they have like fucking 20 belts, and like at least, I mean, I guess their belts at least look better. But like, there's no credibility on the titles, and like, I don't know, AEW just fucking sucks. One thing I'll say about AEW, like it's a lot. Like, I'm not saying it's easy to watch; it's still pretty hard to watch. But like AEW, at least the commentary is good.
Yeah.
You know, they got classic wrestling names. But like WWP, their commentary is just like unbearable. I can't fucking stand that guy.
I mean, like
Corey Graves, he's horrible.
this is the history.
Byron Sexton.
This is the history of AEW's World Championships, right? So it starts off with Chris Jericho,
Yeah,
right?
it's your,
Off to a decent start, right? With Chris Jericho. Like that was the early days of AEW starting up, and they had a rough start. They were in the middle of COVID-19. It was crazy. But Chris Jericho kept the product afloat. He's a big name, you know. He basically saved the product himself, you know. And then
it's from the Attitude Era.
from him, John Moxley, Dean Ambrose, and it's like this guy is the champion for 277 fucking days, and it's a long ass thing where Dean Ambrose basically tries to relives what he did back in CZW. By having
The hardcore wrestling and shit.
his match is like every single match he does is like a hardcore wrestling match where he's bleeding at the end of it, and he basically becomes almost a meme. And then he loses it to Kenny Ogega, this fucking doofus from Japan, or actually he's from Canada, but he thinks he's from Japan. He squints his eyes and he yells and points at people and pretends he's Japanese, even though he's actually Canadian, and he tries to speak like an anime villain. And his finisher is a running, flying knee that you need a camera angle to be at the right angle for it to look good, because otherwise it just looks like shit.
Yeah, I've never actually watched the Kenny Ogega match.
This guy's like 185 pounds, and it's not very impactful, I don't think. And he's bored.
His finisher?
I told you he has no charisma.
Yeah,
it just doesn't seem very impactful.
I never got the hype around him.
Yeah.
I never got the hype around him. He just looks like a fucking nerd. Like why are wrestlers such nerds these days?
He loses it to this 5'7" Adam Page head ass 130
fucking liberal redneck.
Yeah, apparently he pretends to be a cowboy, but in actuality he's like a left-wing goofball who's like a social justice warrior on Twitter. Yeah, and he cries all the time. And he thinks he's a tough guy, but he's really not. Like, I could probably kick this guy's ass, honestly.
Probably.
And then he loses it to CM Punk, who only holds the belt for 87 days.
Oh, God.
CM Punk, when he's champion, he causes so much drama. He's like the most toxic guy ever. There's old Smarkbusters episodes that go back and talk shit about this CM Punk reign. Like, this is kind of towards the end of their like doing videos. So we're kind of trying to pick up and carry on that tradition. And then John Moxley becomes the interim championship because I guess CM Punk leaves the company or whatever. And then he becomes
then he started that fight, and like he started that fight backstage.
Back to CM Punk. But then it's John Moxley who wins it back 3 days later, who loses it to MJF, who holds the belt for 406 days of champion. MJF, he has a great start. It's a cool gimmick. And then after that, it just gets ruined because he starts jobbing and running away and being just a cowardly heel in general. And he just loses all his hype. And he's still champion. And then everyone tunes out. And I tuned out. And then I just forgot. And then I wake up one day and I realize, oh, Samoa Joe's the fucking champion. Okay.
And Samoa Joe. Yeah, old guy. An old fat guy from TNA.
He holds the belt. He's this fat guy from TNA, and you know, he's kind of washed, and he holds the belt for a while though. And then after that, he loses it to a mumble rapper named Swerve Strickland.
Oh yeah,
onto it for this
Swerve Strickland. Yeah.
For this disastrously long period of time. It just kills the company. It kills the ratings of 126 days. And he loses it to an even worse person, Bryan Danielson, the guy you never should have won at
WrestleMania. Oh, shit, yeah.
Because his entire wrestling...
Yeah, well, Bryan Danielson.
Dude, where do I start?
One of the worst fucking wrestlers ever.
Where do I start with this guy? Okay, this guy is like, I've seen him in real life. Okay, he's like 5'8". He's like the same size as me, right? I'm 5'9". This guy's 5'8". He's like 150 pounds. He's a vegan, and he looks like a homeless guy. And he's like, yeah, he basically, now his character, he's cleaned himself up a bit. And now he's like a yoga teacher, basically. That's his character, it seems like. He's a yoga teacher.
Yoga teacher.
Vegan hipster.
So he's just trying to.
And then
So he's just trying to rip off Diamond Dallas Page. Then.
Seems like it, but he does Chris Benoit's moves. You see, he does Chris Benoit's.
Oh yeah, with fucking Chris Benoit's
diving headbutt. And yeah, that's basically his character. He's no good on the mic. He did this whole yes movement thing back on WWP, and it was
yeah, that was horrible. That was a really dark time.
Pretty much because it was for PG era children who don't, you know, they just think that every storyline must be, oh, he's being bullied, and Daniel Bryan was the guy that gets bullied and he comes out on top in the end at WrestleMania, and he helps out this kid with cancer who dies like a few days later, unfortunately, but that's life, I guess.
And because of that whole yes thing, that's when that whole AEW, they hire these fucking washed. I shouldn't even say washed. He's never has been WWP wrestlers like Dean Ambrose and the Yes Men, CM Junk, and like they push him to the moon. They're like put on such a high pedestal, like they're like these gods and shit. It's like there's a reason why these guys, got fired by WWP.
Yeah. Oh,
they just weren't that great to begin with.
He's like fucking Super Cena.
John Moxley again.
Look how many
John Moxley again
for he wins the belt.
What is that? His fourth title reign?
He wins it 1, 2, wins it again 3, 4, 5 times. He's a 5-time champion.
He's basically the Super Cena of AEW.
He's the Super Cena. Bro, they didn't even give Kenny Omega the belt that many times. But they picked like some of the worst champions they could have possibly had. I mean, MJF was all right. Hilden, okay, 406 days, that's fucking overkill. Come on. This is what happens when you
that's too fucking much.
This is what happens.
You know what they were doing? They were copying
This is what happens.
They were copying WWP because WWP loves their fucking long ass title reigns.
This is what happens when you let the monkeys run the zoo.
The inmates are running the asylum.
It's Tony Khan has absolutely no authority over these guys. Let's be honest.
Tony Khan is a pushover. Like there was like an interview.
Like an MJF,
like I don't really listen to these. I don't really listen to these guys anymore. But yeah, TWRP. They like showed a video of like an interview, like a press conference that CM Punk had, and like Tony Khan was like just sitting there and he looked like nervous and shit with CM Junk talking.
Yeah.
And like burying the company and shit.
Yeah, and fucking MJ.
Like really? Like Tony Khan?
Lost too.
Tony Khan could probably kick CM Punk's ass. CM Punk, this guy's a joke. When this guy came to UFC.
I think Tony is genuinely afraid of CM Punk because I think CM Punk would whoop Tony Khan's ass. Okay. Tony Khan's just some nerd who has a bunch of money, okay? And he hires all these guys. CM Punk, regardless of how bad he was in MMA, at least he does have MMA experience and he's actually been slammed around and shit. Like, Tony Khan is genuinely afraid of CM Punk. And I believe, if I remember hearing, I believe CM Punk actually did threaten Tony Khan. Like, he grabbed him by the tie and shook him up.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what Tony Khan and his boys, the Young Cups and Kenny Omega and shit. Apparently CM Junk beat them all up.
Yeah.
A real tough guy beating up a bunch of fucking nerds.
A bunch of defenseless people. Using his.
No, this guy though,
this guy is not the type of guy.
It's ironic.
That is like of the MMA mindset. He's like a guy who just he just likes to pick on people who are weaker than him.
That's what it is. Like the guy,
and he's all
like everyone. You ask anyone anyone who's not a wrestling fan, you know, any UFC fan or even non-UFC fans know about CM Punk's UFC run, and the guy was the biggest joke ever in the UFC. Everyone laughs at this guy, and like, but when he's in wrestling and shit, he thinks he's like this fucking like Joe Rogan talked about it and shit. Like he's in he's in fake ass wrestling, so he's like, I'm the fucking man. But then when he's in UFC and shit, he's like a bitch. He's like the butt of all jokes in UFC. Like everyone laughs at him. There's always like there's a lot of memes on like subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like one of my YouTube shorts I made about CM Punk and shit in UFC.
Shoes of a champion, yeah.
Like, you got shoes of a champion, yeah. Like the guy was a joke in UFC, and like here he is in wrestling, and he thinks he's like this fucking tough guy, beating up a bunch of nerds.
He got his ass whooped by Mickey Gall.
And Mickey Gall isn't even the fucking that good of a fighter.
We recently
It was Mike Jackson,
KO'd, right? Didn't he get KO'd recently?
he got like TKO'd by like some bum.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't really a
like you could say, oh,
if I remember the guy he fought who was like this big, tough, like buff dude.
was he?
Yeah,
I don't even remember the guy's name. Like, people can say, oh, but CM Punk, he did fight. He fought a UFC fighter. Yeah, but he didn't fight like great UFC fighters. He fought undercard UFC fighters.
He fought Basil
the Mike Jackson fight.
Fucking jacked. Basil Hafez.
Who?
Mickey Gall. He fought Basil Hafez.
Oh, Hafez.
Yeah.
Basil Hafez.
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 Yeah, this guy's freaking jacked.
How do you even spell that?
Bassilhafez. Mickey Gall versus.
Oh, I found it.
Yeah, he got caught.
The guy, but
he gets caught.
This guy's he's 9-3-1 though. He doesn't really have the best record.
I mean, look how wide open
he doesn't even have a.
He gets wide.
He doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
He just lets himself wide open with his style of punching. Yeah, knocked out.
Like CM Punk though, like he lost to undercard UFC fighters in the Mike Jackson fight. That's arguably the worst fight in UFC history. That fight is like a cliche for that fight is like an example of bad UFC fights.
The only worst fight that might be like I was expecting. Aren't we still waiting on Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg?
That was just all talk. That's never gonna happen.
Come on, man, that would be a cool fight.
Sure, it would. Sure, it would be money. It would be a fucking
money,
a big cash grab. But like, I think that's more likely to happen in like celebrity boxing than in the actual UFC. That'd be a joke for UFC to have that.
They just throw it on.
I think that's more like that
first fight of a prelims.
Like fucking basketball players and fucking football players are boxing.
I just feel like
Jake Paul's fight with a basketball player.
I feel like it won't happen because
they'll probably
UFC fighters would feel insulted by it.
Yeah, it would be. That would be that would be pretty insulting for up and coming fighters trying to make it to a card, and then you got these two billionaire celebrities,
basically,
on a card over them. That's pretty insulting.
Well, what if they're just like the beginning of a prelims?
Dana White would not put down a prelim because that would be like a big cash grab.
They'd probably settle on like both of them just having a grappling match and like PFL or some shit like that, or one championship.
I mean, probably like a PFL and shit would probably book something like that.
Like a one.
I know for sure the UFC wouldn't. Like the PFL, they're like the what?
Or like a one championship grappling tournament type thing where they both just do jiu-jitsu basically.
Just jiu-jitsu, probably.
Yeah,
it'd probably be better in a grappling match than an MMA match.
Because Mark Zuckerberg says he's like a blue belt in jiu-jitsu or whatever, right?
Yeah, I heard. I heard he's been training for like years and shit.
We have a commenter, ladies and gentlemen. It's Drake Dragon. Yes, we are live.
If that fight ever happens, I'm going with Elon Musk. You guys on the Trump train.
Yeah, on the Trump train. Yeah, Elon Musk is going to be pretty important for the Trump administration coming up. Don't you think so?
Yeah, for sure. It's a big endorsement.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably one of the biggest endorsements, I think, of the situation, of the election.
Sure, it's a it's a bigger endorsement than fucking Taylor Swift and all these fucking Hollywood actors. These fucking Hollywood actors, they're not like they don't mean shit. Like their political like endorsements don't mean shit anymore.
Yeah,
it'll draw a few dummies that like don't know any better.
Really scared for a bit though that Taylor Swift was gonna like swing the whole election, and then guess what? Like I said, it turns out Taylor Swift's majority of her fan base can't vote. They're mostly children, ladies and gentlemen. So
surprise.
What happens? 9%. This is the poll taking internally among Taylor Swift fans. Yes, 300,000 people or so register to vote, right? But guess what happens? 9% of the fan base, they're ecstatic. 18% of the fan base says that they are not happy and are angry for the endorsement. And 72% of the fan base doesn't give a crap.
Go figure. I wasn't, with the Taylor Swift endorsement, it's like I knew it wasn't really gonna fucking matter because these celebrities and their political, this political shit they're trying to preach to us. It doesn't work anymore.
Everyone was expecting months in advance, like the memes were out there months in advance that Taylor Swift was going to endorse Kamala Harris. And what happened? Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris. I won't be surprised if in the next few days you hear that Travis Kelce is endorsing Trump.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either. Like the guys are already like, the guys are like the Taylor Swift thing with Travis Kelce and shit. It took over the NFL.
I wouldn't be surprised if
I wouldn't be surprised if like
Kamala.
That's like a Hail Mary. That could be a Hail Mary for Kamala. Be like, oh, this big tough football player. He supports Harris.
Well, she's been trying with the white dudes for Harris.
The white dudes for Harris and
so
shit.
Maybe that will be the icing on the cake for white dudes for Harris. That'll be her little October surprise. I don't see her. Look, I don't see her going on Joe Rogan. Okay, the rumors. If you guys haven't heard, Kamala Harris wants to be on Joe Rogan, right? Donald Trump also wants to be on Joe Rogan. In fact, Donald Trump is saying that he's going to be on Joe Rogan. I don't think Kamala goes on Joe Rogan. Do you really think that Kamala can last like 3 hours on a podcast?
Yeah.
What are they going to talk about for?
He couldn't even.
I feel like Joe Rogan might be able to.
Yeah.
I feel like he certainly seems like he's interested in talking to a presidential candidate. But I feel like Trump is definitely more the guy to go if he wants an actual good podcast. Harris, bro, you saw that atrocious
Harris needs a script
interview.
Yeah, at Fox News.
60 minutes.
She can't handle the tough questions.
60 minutes, but she talked for word salad for the entire time, and they had to cut and edit in, her responses into a 20-minute episode. Then there's
and apparently she showed up late. She showed up late to that and like left early.
Yeah, and then she showed
up on The View. Well, the View's on her side.
The View's on her side, but
the View's on her side.
On The View because all she has to do is say, "I'm going to be different than Joe Biden," right? Because that's what the whole country wants. They want someone who's not an old sleepy man that's destroying the entire world. But what does Kamala do? She says, No, I don't think there was anything I would possibly change if I was in office. That is what Kamala.
And of course, they're gonna try. of course, they're also trying to spin this other narrative that, like, oh, because, we're all saying for years that Biden's this old man that can't function. Now they're trying to turn that around on Trump. So they can be like, see, Trump is old.
Oh,
Kamala's younger than Trump.
you see, and that's easy.
That's the new narrative.
Unfortunately, the bad part about Trump is it's easy for them to do that because Trump, he's like love him or hate him, he's the guy who he rambles on and he tells you a story, right? He tells you a long story, and sometimes in that story something crazy happens, and he'll say that. And what does the news do? They clip that little part where he says something crazy sounding, right? Or he says something that's supposed to be taken as a joke, right? And then they spin it. And then they spin it on its head and they turn it into a defamation type of slanderous news story.
Yeah, they try to like exaggerate it.
Yeah.
Try to make it, like this. They find that one little fucking clip of something Trump would say, and then like they try to make it like a really big thing, and be like, "Oh, he's crazy."
January 6th, we already know they took what they said out of context with the January 6th thing. They took what he said at the Capitol out of context. You already know that they took the Charlottesville quote out of context, and cut that and made that a sound bite. You already know they're taking this god awful Project 2025 thing made by the Heritage Foundation, which is mostly neocon Republicans from Trump's last administration. It's not as much people that are close to him now. The only guy really on there that's close to him is JD Vance. But JD Vance right now, it seems like he's just, he seems like he's trying to just like do his job as this guy that protects Donald Trump. He tries to be sound like the reasonable guy. And maybe it's this unity cabinet, he's talking with Tulsi and RFK and all these guys. Maybe, talking with Trump, maybe he's becoming a little bit less extreme or something. But it seems like, I don't think that because what they did with the Project 2017, what Trump did there, he didn't really do much of anything of that, other than a few things that were like in common, sort of. And the Project 2021 didn't get, that was a thing too, but that didn't get implemented at all because Trump was the president. What makes them suddenly think that Project 2025 is going to be bad? It's just because of what's written in there, and they're trying to draw strings that attach it to this. They're just trying to be like a conspiracy theorist and draw a web.
Yeah, I don't know how we're still fucking talking about abortion and shit. Trump has said a million times that he's gonna leave it to the states, but all these fucking celebrities like Walter Woke.
Yeah, Walter Woke.
Like, they want to put words in Trump's mouth that he's gonna ban abortion and shit. Or they don't say abortion. They say a women's right to choose for her body.
Because it sounds,
they're putting words in Trump's mouth.
It sounds nicer when you word it that way.
It makes them sound.
All they're really talking.
I guess it makes
abortion
them sound better.
Oh, and also like the right for trans people to be in men's sports and women's sports, respectively. Like.
Oh yeah, that too.
And then here's the thing: when you propose, hey, guess what? Trans people should have their own division, and let's see how well that does. They're adamantly against it because guess what? They know that there's not enough people.
No one's gonna watch it.
They know there's that it would fall on its face. And guess what? That's too bad. It's something. It just shows that it's just not possible, and it's just not fair. It's not fair for everyone. I'm sorry if you're born with something wrong with your head or something, but you need to get some help for that.
Yeah, for sure. It's just I'm like so sick of this. Like I'm so sick of this fucking trans shit being pushed everywhere. It's fucking everywhere. Hollywood, fucking sports. You saw it in the Olympics. There were fucking, there were guys, biological guys,
actually competing.
like that won like the women's gold medal.
Like
Beat the-
it was crazy how many trans athletes were in there, and you have to wonder, like, what about what about the steroids they're taking?
Yeah,
I think there was
like
that one that boxer who was like born with a mismatched set of chromosomes essentially, and that was a big panic for everybody, and because of that mismatched chromosomes, they have a lot more testosterone than an average woman, and they end up looking like very strong, muscular, with broad shoulders. They have an almost masculine physique, and people were wondering, is that fair? Is that like a gray area? What is it? Yeah, like everyone was flipping out about it. You had the left who was like, protect trans rights. You had the right who was like, oh, man, get rid of this person. And then you had like people were just like, well, what is the actual thing going on? This is so strange,
Yeah, it is. It's like, Hollywood's been fucking pushing that, and like you can't watch a movie these days without like some fucking left wing message in it.
Yeah.
And, like all these fucking actors too, they're all like, they're all trying to push it.
It's like Disney trying to push these woke messages onto like kids movies, like that one with the water
Disney.
and fire. I forget what that fucking movie was called. That shitty one that failed on its face.
Like Inside Out, I think it was called, or something like that.
It was the other one. Inside Out actually did okay, actually, for Disney. Because that's like one of their franchise movies now. But the other one, the water droplet.
Water droplet.
Non-binary water droplet.
Elemental.
Yeah, Elemental.
Elemental.
Yeah, that movie fucking flopped on its face.
That's how bad it was. I forgot. I forgot the name of. I forgot. The movie even existed.
That's how terrible it was. It's like I just blocked it out of my mind because it was so cringe.
Man, there's I don't know if it was Disney. There was that. Remember that fucking the non-binary bull?
No, that was a different company, but it was like a kids show still, and it was on Netflix. And yeah, they're the non-binary bull, and it was like, why do we need to lecture 3-year-olds about what a non-binary is when this is like a concept that like even like philosophers like Jordan Peterson fail to understand, Like this is like somebody who needs like help. Like stop it, get some help type help,
That's why those of you watching here, do not show your kids any of these fucking all these modern kid shows. Do not show them to your kids. They all have like a message in them. Like even like Dino Ranch and shit too. They have like this one episode. I saw like Ben Shapiro reviewing it.
Yeah.
And there was like these two homosexual T-Rexes that were like they were like playing pretend with rocks that was like eggs and shit. And like the kids are like, they will be great dads.
Yeah,
and like also the Jurassic Park.
It's like
the Jurassic Park cartoon.
Try to be sexual. It seems like.
And the Jurassic Park cartoon. There's one of the kids in that cartoon like would keep reminding us that she has 2 moms. And 2 dads or whatever, or 2 dads, one of those.
And over and over again.
Yeah, they'll keep reminding you, and they also like fucking
annoying.
Power Rangers and shit. There's like the most recent Power Rangers TV show. There's an orange ranger and a green ranger now, and like they're like lesbians, and they'll keep showing them like making out and shit.
Like
on a fucking children's show.
Annoying after a certain. There's 5-year-olds who watch the show, like, come on, like it's annoying. It's not good, Skip. It's not right.
Yeah, it's not a good thing.
That
it's
boy
a bad thing.
Right.
It's I'm sick and tired of it. It's like everywhere now. It's like you can't like we watch a movie to escape things, a TV show, but like, for a kid's show, for a kid, yeah, like a kid's not gonna I don't know what like why do they feel like all of this shit needs to be taught to kids too? Is what fucking baffles me.
I don't know. I think they're just they're very strange. I guess I don't know. They're just
Yeah.
strange people. I never and if people think that oh well it's because you need to teach kids to be tolerant because that's like the leftist logic, right? Oh, you need to teach kids to be tolerant of others and all these homosexual and trans and lesbian or whatever, right? I say like, look, I don't have hate in my heart towards people who are trans or lesbian or whatever. I don't care what they do with their body. The problem is that I didn't have those innuendos in the shows that I had growing up, right? And I came out just fine. I came out like a normal person, and I'm not fucking going out and trying to, lynch gay people or whatever they think, whatever they do in the Middle East, right? So like it's perfectly possible to just not have these innuendos in your show, and it's just unnecessary, you know?
Yeah. I think they also throw that in there as like an excuse for like when the movie this has always been happening. Like every time like that elemental movie that failed.
Oh, that they say,
You know what? You heard the
they're
excuses, right?
racist,
Homophobia
homophobic.
or racist, or they always have like an excuse for like when their movie like Marvel has been doing that with all their movies. Like when they had that fucking Chinese character, they made like a Chinese fucking superhero movie, and like when it failed, they're like, "Oh, racist is review bombed it," and then they had like fucking
Just
Captain Marvel and shit. When that movie failed,
interesting.
they're like, "Oh, sexist."
Nobody was interested in that,
Say that again?
to be honest. And
Yeah, like
when they were killing off the Thor character, people weren't happy about that.
oh yeah, that female Thor.
Yeah,
That female Thor, and
Well,
like
female
when that movie didn't do well either, and they're like,
robots and completely makes the regular Thor look like a clown. Like
yeah, they made her like look
you're
like
literally disrespecting a pagan god, like a real pagan god, Thor, the god of thunder, in the Norse pagan tradition. You're making fun of this thing that there's people who actually take seriously. It's little, they literally have a a day named after him, Thor's Day. It's not.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they are disrespecting Thor, and making him a joke, basically.
Yeah, like I like Norse mythology and shit. There are people that actually thinks the character exists, and like I don't know. I'm surprised that like fucking Marvel Comics got access to use that character. Like, what next? Are they gonna have like fucking Hades and Poseidon in a fucking Marvel movie?
I mean, I guess Aquaman technically is, Neptune.
Well, yeah, I guess Aquaman and shit.
Aquaman is technically Neptune, right?
Then what are we getting next? Aqua Woman? They're probably gonna make Aqua Woman soon. Like they're always doing like this female version of this male superhero character. Like we have the half black, half Puerto Rican Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And like his character is like basically the same thing as the regular Spider-Man, except he's half black, half Puerto Rican. It just his whole thing is like is his identity, his race and shit.
Oh yeah, he's for the kids apparently. The Miles Morales.
Oh, yeah, so I mean, all this superhero shit though, it's all for children. Like if you're like Matt Walsh said, if you're over the age of 12, why are you watching these superhero this superhero stuff? It's like it's for 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know, and they try to make it woke and shit. It's like, no, these movies are for children.
I mean,
It's like, why do we have to have these
they, like
fucking?
sell merch to little kids, basically.
That's what it is. They're just like 3-hour toy commercials.
You know what I did like? I did like for the superhero genre. I did like the first 2 seasons of The Boys. I thought that was an interesting take on superheroes.
Oh, The Boys.
Yeah, The Boys. I thought it was pretty solid
That was like
seasons.
that was like supposed to be like a parody
Yeah,
of like superheroes and shit.
it was
And then like fucking, I don't know, like towards
compelling story.
the fourth
But towards the 4th season,
towards like the fourth season, they started falling off and
get
shit.
woke and they become garbage, as unfortunately all these series do. Just like Stranger Things. You know, it's a similar situation.
Yeah, like just like,
there's only
I used to watch
only
Arrow
so
and shit.
long.
And
I
like,
feel like for these seasons, there's only so long they can go before they get stale and you just like, taking longer than necessary to draw out the storyline.
like that's why they should like stop after like
Too many-
like TV shows are just too fucking long. Like, who's gonna watch like Supernatural and shit? Like, who's gonna watch fucking 15 seasons of a TV show? You know,
Yeah,
and it's like 20 episodes a season. That's insane.
how much more you can get
And,
done.
like the Arrowverse and shit. The Arrowverse and shit was like a thing, and there was like 5 shows you would have to watch to understand like what was going on in the show, and like in like each show and shit.
Yeah,
But like the Arrowverse and shit, like I would only like at the time, I guess at the time I was watching it, I only really was invested in Arrow, and I watched the other shows, and the other shows like were boring. They weren't really that interesting.
yeah, they were all just generic.
They were just good guy, bad guy, and fucking. And for whatever reason, it takes like 23 episodes, like, especially like the trash and shit. Like the trash, like here's this guy that it's a kid show and shit, but like it takes 23 episodes for this guy that runs fast to beat up the bad guy.
No, but the only thing that makes it TV-14 is that Flash says ass a couple times.
He says ass.
And they drop.
He just says ass. Like the show, like
word once they say bitch, and there's
like
fantasy violence, like fake punches and shit.
Like cartoonish, like fight scenes and shit.
There's some fantasy violence.
That show was like, I don't know how that show was TV-14. It was like, I don't know. I felt like I was watching like Barney the Dinosaur and shit. Fucking,
I felt
that show was like.
I said it feels like it's just like Power
very G-rated
for adults.
Well, yeah, it's just basically just Power, not even for adults, for like fucking like teenagers and shit.
Yeah,
because they threw in some like high school drama and shit.
Yeah, as a tween drama,
like High School Musical shit.
You're right. It became a tween drama.
Yeah, I don't know how that show though. I don't know how that show was like. That show and Arrow didn't like at the time. It didn't even make sense that these two shows would be like together. Like I'd say you want to watch Arrow, you would have to watch the trash to understand what was going on in Arrow.
I guess but then they get everyone gets all hyped up though every time this happens in the show. They say, "Oh, he said ass."
Oh yeah, every time like a cuss word, every time you hear ass, it's like a big deal. It's like it's cool and it's edgy.
He said ass. He's edgy.
Just like the smarks and the pipe bomb. Because he said ass and he said bitch. That makes it cool. That makes the show TV-14.
He's an edgelord. He's edging all the time.
Yeah, he said ass.
Oh yeah, and apparently the Flash in the Flash show, if you don't know, he
he's a pedophile.
Yeah. No, he dates his sister. He's not a pedophile. He's what's it called?
Oh yeah, you're talking about the TV show.
I'm not talking about
They're talking about Ezra Miller.
But the Flash in the show, he's actually
he's simping over his adoptive sister.
He does the incest. Now the Ezra Miller Flash, by the way, which is the new Flash, if you probably just look up the Flash on Google, it'll probably pop up that one. The Ezra Miller Flash. Ezra Miller is actually a pedophile, and he's sus, and he's a little fucked up in the head. He thinks he's like a non-binary they them, and he got arrested in Hawaii one time. For throwing a bar stool at someone and like sexually harassing a woman.
Yeah, and then that movie failed. The Flash movie, it
I'm
didn't do
glad
too
it
well.
failed. It deserved to fail.
Yeah, I was rooting for it to fail.
I was rooting
And yeah,
on its downfall.
like it's it set a record for like it set a record for like a box office bomb. Like it set a record, which since has been broken a couple times by superhero movies.
Yeah, they're
Like
trash.
fucking Captain Marvel broke that record of how much money it lost.
Did anyone actually
They broke the
Captain
traffic
Marvel? Like seriously? Did anyone actually watch
like the
that
second
movie?
one, the first one, it actually did well in theaters, but like
Yeah, the second
that's because they fucking sandwiched it into like two Avengers movies, and they made it to where you can't watch this Avengers movie without fucking Captain Marvel and shit, and that's why that movie did a little like made a bit of a profit, but then the second one that came out like failed miserably. And you know what they said? Sexist.
No, sexist, racist, homophobic. Our three favorite words. Four
That's a
favorite
three.
words.
That's a three.
Sexist, racist, homophobic, trans.
Tra-
Our four favorite.
Xenophobic,
Xenophobic,
misogynistic.
misogynistic.
Like your typical playbook.
They call us the Chuds. We are the Chud.
Chuds.
Yeah, that's what they call us. They call us the MAGA Chuds.
Yeah, the MAGA Chuds.
Yeah, MAGA Chuds. The Giga MAGA Chuds. Because we like the Donald Trump. We like that he likes to go the night before the rallies and he does a little trolling. You saw he did a little trolling today. He did the McDonald's. He's working at McDonald's today. Big boy.
Trump, yeah.
Yeah.
Worked at McDonald's.
Fries inside of the cartons. He was putting fries in the cartons and he was feeding them to customers.
Meanwhile, where's Kamala?
Nobody knows. She's hiding. Trying not to be.
She's been like, she's been MIA.
Like
it's October.
Let me look up where.
The election. It's on right now.
I want to know what she did today. Where is Kamala Harris today? Harrison Walls visit churches while Trump stops at McDonald's. You know why they're visiting churches today? Because of what Kamala said last week when a heckler from the crowd announced Christ is King. She said, "I'm sorry, you're at the wrong rally." You do realize you're running for president in a predominantly evangelical and Catholic nation, right? That makes up about 2/3 of the vote, and you just alienated every single one of them. You, ma'am,
trying to make up for that.
Oh, and JD Vance insured. He insured to be sure to proudly display his Christian faith. Conveniently right like a day after that, basically 10 minutes later in political time.
She's trying to make up for that by pandering to them now.
By going to all these churches and acting like she didn't say that, and of course, unfortunately, some of those dumbasses will believe what she says.
Yeah, sadly, it works on really dumb people.
They'll pretend that it never happened, and she'll go to the church and she'll do a little dancey dance and she'll smile and cackle all day long with Mr. Walls, and they'll play Christian for a day. She didn't even show up to the Catholic dinner either. apparently she did 4 minutes on Zoom, and what she did is it was actually a pre-recorded video where it was basically a campaign video, and she accidentally basically makes fun of Catholic people by accident.
By accident. I want to see that video now.
Basically misconstructs misconstrues all Catholics to be like socially awkward, I guess is what it is, because it's like they chose the most socially awkward girl who seems like hyped to meet up Kamala Harris. She doesn't seem too bright, and yeah, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look, Skip.
It's a bad look.
Yeah, I mean now she has to make up for that. You know how many groups she's completely lacking in? So she just lost. So what was I going to say? She just lost the Christopher. I mean, Pope said that the fucking Pope Francis endorses Trump. You know that? Pope Francis.
Oh, really? Did he? Last time I heard he endorsed Biden.
Yeah, let me look at Pope Francis.
When did that happen? Last time I heard when Biden was running, he was on Biden's side.
I'm pretty sure. I swear I heard somewhere that it was Pope. I mean, he's met Trump before. I think. Oh, now he says. So what he says most recently is.
He says lesser evil.
Yeah, he says he's the lesser evil. But he says that Harris and Trump are both against life. So basically, he's as a Catholic, he's basically basing his vote off of abortion. But he calls Pope Francis the lesser evil. I mean, he smiles for pictures with Trump. So I mean, I imagine he doesn't hate Trump completely. But yeah, he thinks that Pope is against. I guess he's not a big fan of Trump because of his antics, for one, and for two, his.
Was he really?
Yeah, his shaky.
I swear I saw him like in.
Yeah,
I swear I heard of him like endorsing Biden at one point.
You know why he liked Biden? Because Biden's a Catholic.
Oh, because Biden's a Catholic?
Yeah,
that's it.
Biden because Biden's a Catholic. That's why he wanted to vote for Biden. Now he's saying neither of these guys are part of the Catholic Church. So what does the Pope do? He's like, oh well, who's better on abortion? Trump is the lesser of two evils, which is how a lot of Christians are going to be based on their vote off of. Actually,
probably.
I think it's going to be a crazy election. But I think with that being said, I think Kamala's basically lost this election. I mean, Donald Trump's about to go on Undertaker's podcast, 6 Feet Under, right?
Yeah, but there is a bunch of angry fucking nerds and virgins, though. A bunch of angry smarks. So, like, they're not really that big. They're not really going to make that big of a difference in the election.
Yeah. Also, Donald Trump, RFK, and Tulsi Gabbard recently had like a town hall. I believe that was yesterday evening. They had a town hall. And yeah, that's something to watch as well. You could probably go look it up on YouTube. RFK, Trump, and Tulsi town hall.
Trump Jr., right?
No, it's just.
I think I remember hearing about. Oh, was this Trump?
Yeah, I think it was.
I remember I saw like a little speech earlier with like Tulsi and Trump Jr. I don't know if that was like from today or from yesterday. Oh yeah, it was yesterday. Omaha.
No, this was in Omaha. This is an interesting thing. So yeah, there was also that as well. Like Trump has a very active schedule right now, and the Democrats will find like pictures of him like yawning or whatever, and now they're trying to say, oh, he's the sleepy one now, right? Well, look at the Donald. Oh, he's the old one. He's the old guy because he's like
They're
tired.
just looking at speeches for
Do you
lowlights.
blame
They're like looking for little fucking clips.
a little bit tired? This guy's like on the fucking campaign trail all the time, and he's 78 years old. This guy's like
Yeah, the guy,
has a crazy schedule. This guy must be up.
the guy's everywhere. Like,
Guy must be up like
how's this guy? Like,
day, you know.
yeah, like does this guy ever sleep? He's like everywhere. He's campaigning hard.
Wow. He's going to every place. Like he's going like meeting everybody, going to every place, doing all these rallies, doing town halls, doing fucking MAGA rallies, doing fucking podcasts with the fucking Undertaker. Like he's got a crazy fucking schedule. Not to mention he also has to take care of business because he still has his businesses. He still has to worry about that. Like he's got all that going on. Is to catch flights from Sydney.
Yeah, I can't.
That's probably how he gets most of his sleep.
I can't fucking wait.
Airplanes, I bet.
I can't fucking wait. Election mania. We're like less than a month, or we're like a few weeks away already. I can't fucking wait. Like my voting ballot, it came in like a few days ago. It came in like 3-4 days ago, and like as soon as it came in the mail, I voted. I couldn't fucking wait to vote, and yeah.
So go.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the election.
Already, if you guys haven't registered, I hope it's not too late for you. Go fucking register to vote. Go out and vote. Go fucking vote.
Yeah, if you wanna make a difference, vote.
No vote, no grumble. Don't be bitching.
Yeah, if you don't vote,
about
you shouldn't be bitching and complaining.
To me next year about fucking potholes if you didn't vote. That's
yeah,
what I would say.
Reals.
It's not my fault that you decided I'm gonna sit this one out.
Yeah, if you're not voting, then you shouldn't be complaining.
You just
like if you're sick of all this woke shit, vote and you vote for Trump. Get this fucking Kamala Harris, this fucking bitch. We don't want her in office. Get her the fuck out of the office.
Crazy. She's crazy. You've seen her talking in like circles.
Get fucking Biden out of the office. Get fucking Biden, Obama, all these fucking elites. Get them out of the fucking office.
That's what I'm saying, though. Let's vote for Trump and let's be unburdened by what has been.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's be unburdened by what has been and vote for Trump.
Vote for Trump. Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. Fuck Joe Biden, like my hat says. He's too old.
Yeah, fuck Joe Biden.
Sleepy. He's got to go to bed. Oh yeah, and other.
Yeah, he does.
Haven't already heard. Jimmy Carter is like 100 years old now, apparently. Man, he's not in good shape. Let me just say, he looks like that guy from SpongeBob who goes,
that old lady?
Yeah, chocolates. What? Chocolates. Sweet chocolate.
What are they selling?
Is that what they're selling? Chocolates.
I can't hear you.
I can't hear you. They're selling chocolates. Chocolate.
Apparently, Jimmy Carter said he wants to live. Chocolate. He wants to live to 100 just to vote for Kamala. So I don't know. He's probably gonna die soon. I don't know.
I feel like
he doesn't look. He doesn't look well.
Already put in his ballot. He
probably did.
And he put it in. Especially since early voting in Georgia started like 2 weeks ago.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's where he's
that
from.
Long ago already.
Georgia.
Oh, he's from Georgia.
His family used to own a peanut farm in Georgia. So yeah.
And hopefully, fucking.
He's super old though. They roll him out into the lawn, And yeah, that's what he looked like. He looked like that, but he was like just had his mouth open. He looked like a skeleton practically.
Yeah. And hopefully this really old guy didn't influence too many people
That's what he was.
to vote for Scumula.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Scumula she's going down, I think, though. I think she's going down. Down, down, down.
Scumula is gonna feel the bang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, that is the end of this podcast today. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, check out Shoes of a Champion on YouTube. And also, if you haven't already, leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe for more.
Yes, sir. And that's not an insult. That